So Trick, I appreciate you coming out today. I want everybody to understand, first off, who you are, who are you with, where are you from,
okay.
And then we'll get into the fun questions.
Okay, so my name is Papageorgiou. I'm the CEO and co-founder of International Screening Solutions. We're a platform company that sells a product called WorldWatch Plus. And basically, we watch the world. When everybody sleeps, we watch all the announcements about bad people and bad actors all over the world. And we provide that service to customers who need to worry about other reputational risk, compliance risk, any kind of identity risk with their clients around the world.
Fantastic. So what is it that gets you excited about the use of artificial intelligence around KYC?
Yes, so the volume of data around risk is so huge that humans can't process it. And we're dealing with millions and trillions of pieces of information that are just being generated every day about risk and individuals. And the only way to solve a problem is with technology, and specifically artificial intelligence. And the reason for that is, in the old way of putting people in a room, reading press releases and entering data in a database just doesn't scale. There's just not enough people in the world that can read all the press releases, all the government releases, all the watch lists, all the sanctions, and create a database. So what got me excited was this is a completely disruptive way to solve a very challenging problem with a lot of implications in every industry using technology, and artificial intelligence specifically.
So you mentioned the world. Are there specific places that you're seeing this know your customer be the most effective?
Well, when it comes to that, the US is probably one of the places in the world that has a lot of information about individuals. But in general, the problem is actually not being solved well anywhere in the world, because everybody solves the problem using their local understanding of data and technology. So for example, somebody would want to know KYC if somebody's a terrorist or a money launderer or a pedophile, and they search US data, but then a criminal wouldn't do all their crime in one country. They could be in some foreign country doing the same crimes. And the thing that actually gets me up in the morning is I'm one of those people that thinks that terrorists and money launderers and pedophiles and all these people shouldn't be allowed to take advantage of the technology and the tools and the monetary system we have in place to further their crimes. And that's what we try to do. That's why we say the world. We actually look at 240 countries, bulletins for thousands of agencies all over the world, media articles in multiple languages to keep track of exactly that data that if you're a human just couldn't possibly process it, you would miss so much of it. It's impossible to do.
So a lot of what we talk about here at PACE Symposium is the inclusion of people who typically wouldn't be part of the environment. How is the artificial intelligence helping with that?
Right, so it's interesting because even in the US, there's almost 60 million people that are unbanked because of bad credit record or no record at all. So one of the things that artificial intelligence allows us to do is to separate the signal from the noise. So there's a lot of people that get disqualified, they're not allowed credit, they don't get access to payment because there's no information on them, and in the absence of local information, the bank automatically says no. But by using a platform like ours and artificial intelligence, they get a lot more comfortable saying, okay, I don't have enough information about you, but there's no bad information about you anywhere in the world, so it's more likely I'm going to give you credit, I'm going to open up an account, than it was, I don't know enough about you, I don't know who you are, go away, I'm not doing business with you.
Okay,
so it helps by bringing people, it helps by removing the unknown to the degree possible. It makes it easier to include more people in the system.
Okay, so instead of looking for information that is good,
you're saying there's no bad information, so at least it's an entry point. Right?
Okay, fantastic. How do you believe that the mobile devices, there are billions, there are more mobile devices than there are people on the globe. How do you see that helping with your mission?
Well, it actually, it's funny you should say that. There's multiple pieces to know your customer. One of those pieces is identity. How do I know you are who you say you are, right? So we have this whole process now where we can onboard a customer, open a complete account, digital account, fully vetted using their phone. Basically, they take a picture of their driver's license. We run that picture through artificial intelligence engines, make sure it's a legitimate driver's license, match all the data, make sure they're not a terrorist, come back, ask them to take a selfie to make sure the person holding the device is the same person, they gave on the documents. So it's actually making that onboarding process, it removes the friction, right? So it's extremely important for us, and it's getting more and more prevalent. We have one client that they say 70% of all transactions they conduct come from a mobile device. And it used to be 5 years ago, it was exactly the opposite. So it's extremely important.
So what would you say to someone who's looking to come to the Pay Symposium? What would you say to them, and who would you suggest actually attend?
Well, it's interesting because my original view of this was going to be a bunch of techies or payment specialists talking about these very esoteric things, and it turned to be anything but that. It turned out to be a great opportunity to expand my understanding of how other industries view payments, because we have people from banks, from fintechs, from payment providers, from support providers, from technology providers, philanthropic organizations. So it almost, if you have anything to do with paying or getting paid, and you're at a level where you can drive strategy or impact change, this is a great way to understand how the future of payments is going to look like, let alone if you're an e-commerce or a payment provider, which impacts you directly. So I think it's a great place to come.
So before we sign off, is there anything that you would like the folks to know?
Well, when you hear payments, people think, credit cards, or people think checks. But payments is literally the underpinning of so much that goes around the world, from how do we move money for a commercial transaction to how do we pay people in an impoverished country using charitable funds. So it's a much more broader world than just a credit card payment or a transaction.
Fantastic. Thanks, Sherry. I really appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.